What happens when you start investing and you're successful? Well, people can copy you. It's not so difficult to copy. So don't get into that belief that you can't be copied. Everybody can be copied. Given Indian disclosure norms, which are very useful in the mutual fund industry, you know how a Naren invests, how a Roshi Jain invests, how a Prashant Jain invests. Of course, if Prashant Jain goes into the AIF or PMS mode, his portfolio will still be available to you on a quarterly basis. The others portfolios will be available on a monthly basis. So if you take a value investor and you see that he or she has a 20-25% kind of a portfolio turnover, copying is not very difficult, right? So if you are a successful investor, you made money, which means you will have more money to invest. So that money will have to find a way where it has to be invested. And if everybody copies some kind of strategies, then what Merrill Lynch calls the fact that everybody is using the same strategy, right? Uniformity of strategy or the merger of strategy, that happens. So if everybody, take a simple example, you are traveling from Navi Mumbai or from Thane to VT daily for work, and you think train gets very crowded at 8:30, so you decide to take the 8:15 train. Suddenly there will be convergence of strategy. Somebody else will also do 8:15. He's just copying you. So this kind of copying happens in the investment field. So if you, to continue the example, the 8:15 train gets crowded, so you change to 8. So others also change to 8. So same thing happens, right? You cannot have a great moat which will work permanently. There is no such concept. People will, and the worst thing in investment returns is returns just collapse. One fund manager had told me, I don't see any risk investing in US. But any of you who have already invested in the US, who cannot do further SIPs because of the RBI clampdown on the amount that you can't invest, your returns are now very likely to be deep in the red, and deep in the red, especially if you're a new entrant into that. So somebody like me who's been an old entrant into that, yes, of course the returns are falling, and the problem with the returns is the investment is they don't fall, they just collapse. So suddenly if you find that the American market has another 10-year history of suppose 2022 to 2032 is the lost decade in US, your SIPs also will not help. The fact that RBI did not allow people like us to invest is perhaps good, because you see what has happened in the US market. Of course, some other markets like China may have gone up, but China is also now quite, China has taken a hammering, Hong Kong has taken a hammering. Now if you say, oh, there will be reversion to the mean, so let me buy China, let me buy Hong Kong. What about the taxation of shifting from US to China or US to Hong Kong, right? There will be, when you transfer your investments, you will pay some capital gains tax. So all those kinds, everything weighs in on you while you are a good investor, even in the mutual fund, right? So high returns will collapse, those things will continue to happen, and I summed up talking to them and said, first of all, it's very, very difficult to make money in the long run in investing, but you have some advantages. One is you're a long-term investor. You can be invested for 20-30 years, and you're interested in creating wealth for your family, not necessarily in your lifetime. That's one huge advantage which you have, which other fund managers don't have. Even companies don't have. That is the problem, because companies are also looking at 2-year, 3-year maximum, quarter to quarter kind of returns, and the executives are looking at that. When the CEO comes in a new company, he is maybe 50 years of age, 52 years of age, so he's very committed, and he says, oh, new broom cleans better kind of stuff. But then after when he's 55, 56, he's already insecure, he doesn't know when he'll be sacked. So that's it. So that's the shorter, it's a long-term view from a market point of view, 50 to 60 or 50 to 55. But that's very short in terms of business. So you're better off with family businesses, and I think in India at least 70-75% of businesses are family businesses, and I find family businesses run better. Now if you read a textbook, they'll tell you, oh, professionally run companies are better, but I think professionally run with ESOP has meant all the managers to look at the short-term return. So that is one huge disadvantage you have. So what can you really do to sustain yourself as an investment professional, or rather investment amateur. So first is define your edge, see why you are investing, why you want to invest. If you are 65 years of age, also understand that Ken Fisher talks about his father being not a good investor beyond his age of 70. Warren Buffett is a good investor at the age of 92. So find out in which category are you. So decide whether you want to continue it at all. Define your competitive edge. What is your competitive edge because of which you want to do direct investing, and why not through a mutual fund? Remember to do that very clearly. Then describe yourself. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for trading? Are you ready for investing? You should have a clear view. Or you should say 80% of my money is investing, or 70% or 60% of my money which is in equity is in investing, so that I will go and put in an index fund. I will the other 10% I will play with value investing, another 10% I'll play with trading, or I would do things like that. I don't even like to use the word play. I say I would be in long-term investing and something like that. Define your competitive edge, describe yourself as to what you want to do, be ready to refresh your edge, be nimble. Say, oh, this edge of mine I thought was my edge is not true, it's failing. I will not use Warren Buffett as a limitation, saying Buffett does not understand the airline industry, so I will not invest in airline industry is wrong. Buffett does not understand airline industry. Buffett has decided not to understand the airline industry. I have decided to understand airline industry, so I will go and read about it, I will go and find out, and therefore, and I will buy it only in a pinch. I will not buy it as a regular business, and I will wait to see the airline market share going up from 55 to 56 to 58, and then seeing the ROE or the ROI, because it's not going to be visible now. And by the time, if the price is 3x of what it is today, then I have to recalculate whether it is worthwhile at all in that price. So, right. So, telling yourself that is very important. Very important thing also is to be humble, because a lot of returns that you get in life are because of some piece of luck. Your father worked in a company which shares you still holding. Your father died, but you're still holding, and that company is doing well. Don't claim that to be your skill of sitting in one place. You just were sentimentally attached and it did well, and it could be you're sentimentally attached and it did badly. Both things can happen. So most of my investment decisions, there is tremendous amount of luck involved, right? So if you have a good style, also you may need a very good exit strategy, right? So if you don't know why you're entering, how will you know when to exit? And when you say, okay, I'm a low PE investor, I bought this at 20 PE, now the PE is 100, what should you do? What should you do at 40? What you should do at 60? What you should do at 80? Will you keep paring down your position like fund managers do, or say, let it ride, I don't care, let it reach 100, I don't care, right? So depending on the size of your portfolio, if it's a 10 lakh position in a 10 crore portfolio, you may not bother on a day-to-day movement. But if it is a 3 crore investment on a 10 crore portfolio, then you will be more concerned about it. So sizing you need to learn, right? So not many people knew how to do sizing. So this is how I rambled, and I hope you find this interesting. Thank you.